Hey y'all. So I am live. And we are going to continue where we left off because new information has been revealed with our in quotations because not our in this divestment space of the George Lloyd whatever who was manhandled by the police. Meow. I got my notes. I typically don't have notes. I typically read off rip because that's the type of person that I am. Top dome. I like it when it's spontaneous and I like just saying things off rip. But I had a couple of notes that I wanted to, don't fuck up this live like it typically do. And hopefully YouTube don't fuck up the commentary because I know I've had at least one person who said that they try to leave comments during the live and then YouTube disappears the comments. I don't control that. I don't like the fact that YouTube does. So I hate that it's PC. I feel like it's because YouTube it has special wording or whatever, and they'll like delete it if it's cuss words or if it's like the hard ER, they'll like delete it, which I think is trash because y'all are more than welcome to say whatever the hell you feel like on my channel, on my live. But if you feel like commenting, definitely do because I like reading y'all's comments and I like commenting on your comments. So let us begin. Breaking news. George Floyd, the man who got his neck kneed the fuck on, like, what's his name? Kaepernick. What's his name? Kaepernick something. What's Kaepernick's first name? Don't even matter. Point is, George Floyd got his neck manhandled by Officer Mr. Whitey. And the breaking news is that George Floyd, the innocent black sheep taken so soon by white supremacy, oh Lord Jesus, screaming out, Mama, as he passes, comes to find out that he has a white fiance. And when the news asked for her opinion, for her statement, for her to break her silence on the media frenzy, on the rioting, what she had to say, and come to find out this white fiance quoted and said, "Don't fight fire with fire." Hey, Helen. So, as everybody's destroying the city, like goddamn Godzilla, like some barbaric apes, goddamn it, like what's that gorilla who destroyed the city? Y'all, I don't really be paying attention to movies like that, but just like him or it, these makers are destroying the city, and I believe they're destroying the city because they really want to. Like this is just an opportunity for them to act the fool. Because for some reason, makers always want to just do the opposite of what society wants them to do. They just don't want to be functional. On top of that, they just forgot that COVID still exists. So all y'all who are destroying the city are gonna end up paying for that twice time over. If you don't end up getting a felony, you might need a respirator. So there's that. But like I said, the Naker psychology. I did this in the I heard about that and being friends with old football player. Yes, we're about to get into that, sis. We're about to get into that. Okay? Um so like I said with the Naker psychopathy, I did that in the video on the thumbnail. It's two thumbnails of previous videos put together. One of the thumbnails says makers are role playing as slave masters. And that's about the psychopathy of the Naker. Like I said prior, the Naker wants to be the slave master. Because while this Naker, George Floyd, was attacked by the police, and I will get into why this even happened to begin with. We're going to break this down thoroughly. But the Naker psychology, the psychopathy of the Naker, is that he wants to be the slave master. He wants to relive slavery, but on his terms. He wants to be the white master, black women being the mistresses slash sex slaves, and white women being non and their wives being either white women or non-black women, aka the wifey, aka the trophy. Now, with George Floyd, come to find out that he has a white fiance. That's his business. I divest. I date out. So who am I to tell somebody not to do so? Like, it's your prerogative. Ain't nobody gonna shoot you for that. However, comma, how is it that he has a white fiance, but he has black baby mamas? But again, his prerogative. That's their prerogative. If they want to do a backwards ass, bastardized, ghetto ass, harem, baby mama harem, that's their business. That's not mine because I'm not on that. But also comes to find out during his untimely demise, he also had a black girlfriend. So how is it that you have a white fiance, but you're dibbling and dabbling inside of a black pussy? So that leads me to believe that again, the Naker psychopathy. You want to be the man by immortalizing, by making the slave master the standard to be, because there's always that pimp hole culture with the Nakers. Regardless of what they get into, there's always this element of exploitation. There's always this element of oppression. So he ends up being partnered with this white woman, which is his prerogative, his choice. But on the side, he has a little bit of dark meat. No different than a typical slave master story. You get to be the man of the house, you get to be the authoritative force, and then your counterpart is the white woman, the trophy, your preferred choice. And then the side chick is the black woman who you pump and dump, who you have wild animal sex with, who you have passionate, robust, nasty, probably STD infested, we definitely know out of wedlock baby inducing sex, but you don't parade her around, you don't give her a title, you don't give her a ring, but she's good enough to be in your bed while you slipping and sliding in that coochie, just not good enough for you to marry. Got it. Let me see if there's any more comments. Okay. All right, let me continue my talking points. Let me bring down OBS. All right, boom, boom, bam. All righty. So, come to also find out that black women are out here muling. And specifically the mammy, because it's the mammies out there, not the typical black woman who mind our motherfucking business and keep our edges moisturized, because we don't want no thinning ass edges over these knickers. But while these mammies are muling and getting their face bashed the fuck in, because that's another point we're gonna make later on in this live stream, because there was a mammy who got her ass motherfucking beat in by the police, but you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, bitch. But come to find out, while the mammy mules are out here stomping the yard and catching felonies, the white fiance who said, "Don't fight fire with fire," is actually at home sipping tea and watching y'all mammy bitches catch felonies and get your head cracked open while she's playing ghetto grieving wifey. Now, riddle me this. If this does turn into some type of reimbursement of sorts, some type of civil action, and there's some money that's rewarded for his death, who gonna get that money? Because y'all baby mamas on the harem, y'all are baby mamas, and the court system does not honor baby mamas. Sis, if they honored baby mamas, they wouldn't make it a mandatory fact for you to get married and for you to file as joint as spouse. So if there was no legal benefit to you getting married, then baby mamas would be acknowledged, but that's not how it goes. So if he does win some money in a court, or his name, his image, his likeness win some money in the court, who's gonna get that shmoney? Who gonna get that shmoney? Do you think it's the black side chicks? Do you think it's the baby mamas? Do you think it's the white fiance? Inquiring minds would like to know. Another point, a black mammy actually did get her face beat in by a cop in the riot, but did Naker step in to help her? Did she get a protest in her honor, in her name? Does anybody actually know what baby girl's name is? Exactly. She's just a side note, footnote in this thing called Blackistan shithole. So are we going to have a double protest? Are we going to protest that this was some type of sexism, that this was some type of discrimination, that this is men showing their brute force? What are we going to do about the situation? But then again, what do we ever do about black women getting their asses beat? Still to this day, people are making excuses for why Chris Brown beat Rihanna's ass. Meanwhile, every 19 hours, black women are murdered by black men. I'm starting to think that black women love this brutality. I'm starting to think that y'all are addicted to this shit. You get geeked off this shit. Your vagina jumps at the thought of a nigga choking you the fuck out. I'm starting to think that you like a man putting them paws on you. That you like the grunt work, the brutality, the hardships, the crying, the angst, the paranoia, the panic attacks. Yeah, y'all like that shit. I think you think it's foreplay. And I think you need to see someone about that because that's mental illness. That's disgusting. Me, a man raises his voice, I'm already on alert. I'm like a startled deer in this bitch. I'm feeling run, okay? Never mind, a man has to be aggressive towards me. A man has to threaten me. I don't do well with threats. I'm not that type of girl. I'm not gonna rah-rah with you. I'm not gonna put hands on you back. I'm not gonna try to fight you. That doesn't turn me on. I'm very hypersensitive when it comes to my own safety as a black woman. But it makes me cringe that black women don't have the same mentality. That y'all think y'all are men. And that's why people call black women men and masculine. Because everybody else wants to be dainty. Even the naked sons that you have. That's why they're hiding behind your titties. Like Breonna Taylor's boyfriend did it well. But all the other real women want to be dainty, want to be feminine, want to sit this shit out, don't want to get into the mud. They don't want to get their ass beat. They don't want to get arrested. They don't want to do 50, 11 things just to get to point A to point B. They want the ergomy road, but not black mammies. They want to crawl with no hands. They want to swim across the motherfucking Nile River with no motherfucking legs. They want to do all this extra shit. And the thing about it is, I think these bitches really think they're superheroes. You know, they don't run like everybody else. They has to stand in front of it as it's about to erupt and think they're about to pull a fucking Moses and split the fucking volcano and walk through the fucking lava and think that their asses are not gonna get burned. I think these women really think that they are bionic. They think that they are invincible, that they can't be broken. And then when shit hits the fan, when shit gets real, that's when they're like, oh shit. And I'm like, y'all letting these niggas gas you up for the death chambers. Meanwhile, they're not doing it. They gassing you up to do it, but they not doing it. You gotta realize when you being played as a motherfucking pawn. Cause your life literally depends on it. Let me read your comment. Oh no, because black men will still say to this day sexism is from white supremacy, so therefore it don't exist in Blackistan. If sexism don't exist in Blackistan, then why black women say getting their ass beat? If sexism doesn't exist, like I said, why niggers try to pump and dump women so they can get up on their Section 8, so they can eat their Wix cereal, so they can live off of them? If sexism doesn't exist, then why is 60% plus of black women raped by the age of 18? Like, this don't make no goddamn sense. If sexism don't exist, then why y'all niggas keep on talking about submit, 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 submit? Like a goddamn application, but you wouldn't know about that either because niggas don't like to work. Submit, submit, submit. If there's no sexism, then why you want us to go 50-50 in this bitch? In the words of Drake, can't go 50-50 with no hoe. But sexism doesn't exist. Y'all stay trying to literally coerce and break the arms of black women to do the grunt work of patriarchy, to build you up so you can sit on the throne as a pretty, pretty princess. But sexism doesn't exist? If sexism doesn't exist, then why is Blackistan motherfucking Thriller? Why black women when they walk through Blackistan, especially at night, she gotta look to the side. She gotta look up and down. She gotta walk carefully. She has to be hyper vigilant. Her chest is jumping out of her motherfucking chest. If Blackistan wasn't so sexist, it'd actually be somewhat decent to live. But you gotta worry about the niggas who gonna shoot you with their stray bullet. You gotta worry about the niggas who gonna beat your ass for the fucking fun of it, cause it's the knockout game. You gotta, or they gonna jump you for your sneakers like baby girl in New York. You gotta watch out that they don't try to snatch you and rape you in the bushes. You gotta watch out that a car doesn't come up and snatch you and sell you off to sex trafficking. If Blackistan wasn't so goddamn sexist, perhaps black women could actually live. Not well, live well, because you know it's Blackistan. Let's be honest. But at least you can live without the fear of threat. Nakers are scared of fucking Blackistan. Well, what do you make? What makes you think black women are scared of fucking Blackistan? Nakers are scared of Blackistan. That's why when Nakers get some money, where they get it illegally through the drug game or they become NBA players, the first thing they motherfucking do, or rappers, the basic shit, the court jester, they get their money and they go to the motherfucking burbs. They get themselves a skyline view. If it was so great in Blackistan, why the Nakers are itching to get the fuck out? If they're itching to get the fuck out, then why shouldn't black women itch to get the fuck out? Like, this is the fuckery of Blackistan. It's just not it. It's just not it. But let us continue. So this snaker, George Floyd, is a black baby mama, has black baby mamas, and he was a perpetual skeet and skedaddle bastard baby impregnating maker. So all he was good for is skeeting and skedaddling, because he was collecting baby mamas, but he wasn't collecting no marriage certificates. How ironic. And then when he gets with the white woman, he bumps up the status a little bit. Still off record. Because that, if fiance don't mean shit. You don't file for fiance. You don't get a certificate for being fiance. That's not on the books either. That's level 2. But he gives her a prettier title than skeet treat. Black women get the skeet treat. The white woman, she gets fiance. Interesting. Interesting. So, the Naker actually got manhandled because his ass was forging motherfucking checks. He was committing fraud. So the backstory is that he went to the bank and he tried to catch a check. The check was fraudulent. So of course the bank called the police because they don't want to be hemmed up in the fuck shit. And who knows, if he's trying to catch fraudulent checks, he's probably involved in more criminal activities. You know, times are rough. COVID's here, and nakers can't go out in the street and steal and hustle like they typically do. Ain't nobody trying to buy no bean pies or whatever the fuck else that they're selling, incense or whatever. So now they're trying to scheme any way possible because I heard you can't get no stimulus check if you got child support. And judging by how this nigger looks and how this nigger moves, it seems like he probably does have some bad child support that he's not handling. So apparently, I'm gonna guesstimate, he wasn't afforded the stimulus check. So he had to hustle the best way he can and he started scheming. So that lets me know that the white woman that he got with, she was probably maintaining his public image and she was probably taking care of him because he ain't got no money to take care of himself. So he damn sure had no money to take care of her. I'm probably sure he was living off of her like he typically does live off of black women. She wasn't going 50-50. She was going. And because this nigger can't grow up and be a man and take care of business, that nigger got. Let us continue. Like I said in my last live, this is not our fight. Hashtag burn. I said that a lot of time these nakers get hemmed up by the police is because they try to punk the white cops. They're thinking because the cops are white, they're black, that they can use their niggatry, they can use their dark skin, their aggressiveness, their ape shit against the cops, and the cops will, kowtow or disignore the nakers or leave. They think that they're going to stop doing their job because the naker starts yelling and pounding his fist and stomping his feet and doing all this egregious shit. And the cop is like, look, I can't shoot you because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want a trial. I don't want people accusing me of being racist. So I can't shoot you. But I need to get you down because you're erratic and you're probably accused of something that you actually did. Because a lot of times we've seen this in the past. History is the best motherfucking foresight, okay? We've seen this in the past. All the time when these niggers get out of pocket, they're usually guilty of something. We seen actual video of Ahmaud Arbery acting a goddamn fool, looking like a whole fucking crackhead. No shirt, basketball shorts, underneath sweatpants with a puffer jacket, zipped up, and a fitted hat during the summertime. So it's hot as hell, and you and you're not confused. If you confused, you're not sure if you're in the summertime underneath some sweats. So you look like a crackhead. You're not sure if it's hot. You're not sure if it's cold outside because you on that crack. So the office is like, basically, I need to make sure that you have no weapons. Can you please, abide by the rules, abide by the routine? Because you know the routine, maker, because you stay getting caught up with the police. Hence, this motherfucker coming to school, high school, with a motherfucking gun. Who needs a gun in high school? The Nakers are going to point to police brutality. The Nakers are going to point to how these white kids have school shootings, but they don't want to point to these Nakers as shooting stray bullets and hitting motherfucking cats, dogs, kids, bicycles, grannies. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. It's not like the gun is legal. It's not like it's registered to anyone. It's not like they actually have a license. It's not like they did the proper procedure to get the gun. It's not registered to them. They didn't go to no gun um, facility to learn how to shoot it. So they just cock it to the stomping his feet. He's running at a million miles per hour. He's cocking his hands to the side like he's about to dive out of a motherfucking plane. And this officer is just like, can't shoot the nigger. I can't wrestle him down. Even if I try to taser this nigga, this nigga's on crack. This nigga, that probably wouldn't be nothing to that nigga. That probably would have been a flinch to him. So he's tried as hard as he can. And the nigga still will not abide by the rules because he's guilty. When you innocent, you don't have to do all that jaw jacking. When you're innocent, you don't have to do all the hysterics. Because even if the police is wrong, all you gotta do is go to the precinct, talk your shit, have an alibi, and then less than an hour you back on the streets. But what had happened was probably you got some motherfucking warrants. Probably you got drugs on you. Probably you're affiliated with some naker who's affiliated with some fuck shit. You probably are guilty of some shit. Guilty of some shit to some degree. And you're probably scared that the crime that you committed a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, is coming back for that ass. So you do all this hysterics trying to think that you're going to scare someone away from doing their job. And it makes you more guilty. Because the longer you run your mouth, the easier it is to get got. And that's why these nakers keep getting got in the first 48 hours. It's a whole fucking television series based on these nakers getting caught in the first fucking 48 hours. Because all they do is run their motherfucking mouth. If you're really that innocent, all you would have to say is, are you going to charge me with something, officer? And if they keep asking you questions, you'll be like, I would like a lawyer. And that's it. If they got nothing to charge you with, they can't hold you. But the thing about it is, usually they're not. More times than not, they are guilty of some shit. Mike Brown actually did steal from the fucking corner store. Eric Garner was actually selling loose cigarettes. Alton John was actually Alton. I said Alton John. Alton Sterling was actually burning CDs and shit. I don't know who still listen to CDs when we got motherfucking stream. When we can stream on Spotify, we can stream on iTunes, we can stream on whatever the fuck. I don't know who still is burning CDs, but he's burning CDs and he's selling it. I remember when I was in high school, we would all use LimeWire to download illegal music until, LimeWire started getting their asses cracked open. And we found out that we could go to jail for that shit. So we had to do other shit to listen to music, like buy it. But, that's illegal. If LimeWire couldn't let you download your favorite Crank That song, then what makes you think that you can burn CDs from artists, is not cut the record label a check, not cut the producers a check, not cut the rappers, the singers, and everybody else affiliated with making one particular song, never mind a disc full of 10. If it was illegal for LimeWire to do it, then why the fuck did you think that you could do it? But the niggas stay scheming. And because the MAMMIES and the Nakers didn't want the truth, they made him a victim, even though he went down for child sexual abuse. He was accused of and found guilty of having sexual relations with a 14-year-old. And like father, like son, the son turned out to be just like him because the son ended up sexually molesting or raping some boy. But y'all didn't want to hear that shit because every black man is a naker. Every black man is a victim. How is it that you're the most desired and you're the apex of masculinity, manhood? Everybody wants to be like you. Everybody wants your swag. Everybody's scared of the BBC. But you stay ending up in prison. You stay ending up getting gunned down. You stay ending up getting arrested. You stay catching fucking felonies. Two opposites can't exist at the same time in space. You can't be the symbol of masculinity, but you stay getting not only murdered and getting police records, but also you hide behind women to fight your fights. How are you so masculine and rah masculinity, but you hiding behind some titties? This don't make no goddamn sense. This not adding up. This not adding up. Come on now. Damn, I feel bad. I still buy CDs. Girl, if you still buy CDs, buy them CDs, girl. Buy them CDs. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you could find yourself a CD player or what is it, a Walkman and stuff like that. Like, hey, it might be valuable. You might have an antique in a couple of years. You might be able to sell them things and get you a couple of grand, maybe even $1 million. Who knows? But if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. But at least you're not burning different songs, putting them on a CD and then selling them on the side of the goddamn road. You're not supposed to do that. Just like you're not supposed to sell loose cigarettes. It literally says on the carton, not for sale. You can't do that. But in Blackistan, it doesn't matter what the laws are. It doesn't matter what the regulations, the policies, the whatevers are. Because in Blackistan, it's like a fun house. What's up is down. What's down is up. What's left is right. What's right is left. Nothing makes sense because it's a shithole and everything is upside down. Let us continue. Like I said, the nigger was broke and trying to scam the bank to impress his white fiance. And she looks like the average white woman in the face. She wasn't spectacular, but she was spectacular enough to get the ring. I don't even know if it was a ring. I'm pretty sure it was just a title. Because if it was scamming the bank, I'm pretty sure he could not afford a decent ring. I don't even think he could afford a Walmart ring. So he probably just gave her the title to make her feel good. But nonetheless, I'm pretty sure he was parading her around while he was slipping and sliding in the black coochie when the sun went down. But his fiance to impress his nigger ass friends, which says a lot. So it says a lot about her because this is the best that you can get. But again, your prerogative, not my business. But when niggas usually pull up with these white women, they usually get the bottom shelf white women. But they gas them up, and all the meanwhile, they're putting down black women. Just like, I believe the Stephon Jackson guy is his brother, but I'm not sure. But they're definitely related in some aspect. Now, this is the same Stephon Jackson who, about a month ago, came out on social media telling young NBA players to not knock up bitter black women. He was talking about a lot of disparaging shit about black women. Come to find out that this fucking nigger didn't get no stimulus check either because he's back on child support. He has back child support. So whenever these makers are held accountable for their skeeting, whenever these women are like, see your ass in court next month, all of a sudden these black women are bitter. These black women are evil. These black women are working against the black man. They're working with white supremacy. But when you were skeeting and not using any contraceptives, she wasn't dead. And she wasn't that 5 fucking different times because you got 5 fucking different black women knocked the fuck up. But once they said, look, I need assistance raising this little nigga. School is not cheap. Food is not cheap. Utilities ain't cheap. All the burdens of being a parent ain't fucking cheap. You're gonna help me raise this little motherfucker. All of a sudden, she's bitter. She's angry. She's against the black man. But if she was muling, if she was taking all that heavy burden and putting that shit on her back like a good mule, she would have been the prize. She would have been the great little mammy. You would have given her a round of applause. You would have clapped your ass cheeks for her. But because she said, I'm not about to be doing all this shit by myself, I'm not about to be losing my wits end, like, you gonna help me raise this motherfucking kid. Whether you hear or not, but you gonna put some money on that motherfucking Pampers and that motherfucking private school. All of a sudden, she's a gold digger. But she wasn't a gold digger when you were slipping and sliding in that pussy, now was she? Hmm. So he's giving advice, quote unquote, to NBA players, which is funny because in newcomers, we saw that what, a month ago? When we saw the drafts that were done online, all these newcomers, they either have no black girlfriends or these mixy types. And I'm like, you know what? Let the black divine mother work in mysterious ways, because these white women and non-black women really think they're getting a better deal. They really do think that their pussy's made out of gold, that it shoots out glitter. And I'm like, you gonna see. You gonna find out what it's really like to get that BBC. Because that BBC is gonna have you having STDs and out of wedlock babies. You don't know what you're asking for. All these white women and these non-black women trying to compete with black women by snatching up fucking Tyrones. And what it really comes down to is that they're using Tyrone as a pawn. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to compete with the black woman. That's why they're nigger fishing. That's why they are trying to have the black woman at stakes. They are the never ending cycles of Kardashians. They want to be us. They're competing with our wombs. They just can't understand our je ne sais quoi, our ageless skin, our beautiful artistic abilities, the fact that we are so quote unquote strong, but yet the apex of femininity, the fact that we have the Eve gene, the fact that we are transformational, that we always come with the culture, we always come with the looks, that we are versatile. They want to be us. So since they can't be us, they try to emulate us. And they think that they can get close enough to being like us by jumping up and down that black phallus. But usually when they do that, they sign up to be like Khloe Kardashian, chasing naked dick that only embarrasses them. But you know what? I'm glad that they're chasing Tyrone's BBC, catching those STDs and out of wedlock babies, because black women need a break. We need a break from the yeast infections. We need a break from that vaginosis. We need a break from that herpes, HIV. We need a break from that HPV, the chlamydia, the gonorrhea. We need a motherfucking break. So if you want to take place, take that place, because it's open for you, baby. It's wide open. Take that spot. Take the number one spot, because we tired and our wolves are tired as well. So if white girl Becky wants it, or Asian girl Ming Ling, or what's old girl's name? Janie Mai, Jeannie Mai, whatever. She could do that. They could do that, because at the end of the day, we tired and we don't want that. We don't want that. So have at it. I want the luxury of patriarchy and masculinity, but no work ethic. That's just what it is. It is always a pimp game. It's always a pimp game. Whether we're talking about their religious fringe shit, the Nation of Islam, pimp shit. Hebrew Israelites, pimp shit. 12 percenters, pimp shit. Karman Nation, pimp shit. Whatever they do, it's pimp shit. It's always a way to get black women to quote unquote submit, so then black women can do the hard grunt work while they sit on their asses. Now they're trying to sell you polygamy where they collect black women to use and abuse and discard. Meanwhile, they just gonna sit on their asses and dictate. How is it that their form of patriarchy always comes in the form of of pimping? Their patriarchy is pimping. Meanwhile, in actual functional patriarchy, it's the men who do the grunt work. It's the men who sweat. It's a men who breaks their backs and blood, sweat, and tears build for their women and children, because the highlights of their life is saying that my wife is well taken care of, that my wife doesn't have to answer to nobody, that my wife doesn't have to stay in traffic, work hard hours, mule and gruel. She doesn't have to do that. that my wife is ageless, my wife is well taken care of, my wife is beautiful, that he gets to parade her around and be like, this is what I got, this is what I bagged, this is how she looks, this is the life that I give her, this is the rock that I put on her figure, this is the roof I put over her head, this is the clothes that I buy her. Like this is mine. This is mine. This is what I did. That's a functional patriarchy's gloat. That's how they flex. Look at my children. So gifted that she skipped the class. So gifted that she is the valedictorian. That she is what you should emulate. This is what you should want for your son to date. That's what a true patriarchy does. He does all of this shit, which is hard, which takes time, which you break sweat and tears for, you bleed, you shed for, just so you can brag and say, this is my legacy. This is what I left behind. This is what honors me. This is what I put in. This is what I invested in. This is me, all me. That's how you flex. That's where your big dick energy comes from. Not how you screw, not who you knock up, but what comes after the fact of you putting in that work. What does your investments look like? And when you are that man, you don't have to ask for submission because it's already given. You don't have to ask for a meal. You don't have to ask to be the man because it's already given. If she's well taken care of, and she don't have to put up with a trash ass boss. She doesn't have to put up with traffic. She doesn't have to put up with headaches. She don't have to put up with being talked to in any disrespectful manner. She's resting her femininity so she can get her nails done, so she can get her hair done, so the house is always pristine, and she can cook you dinner, and she can do the laundry. She can do all that and be what? Stress free, nacre free. But if she has to do all that extra shit to bring her 50-50 to the table, how the hell she got time for all the other shit? So she got to do 50-50 in the motherfucking work field and then come home and do 100% of the house? And you get to be King Kong, sit on your ass and scratch your ass? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's a shitty ass deal. Shitty ass deal. And as black women, we should be okay saying, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. And I'm not signing off on this. Fuck how you feel. Give this shit to your daddy. Give this shit to your mama because I'm not interested. So the stuff on Jackson, whatever the hell his name is, um, he's just as bitter. He looked like he did some crack in his life or some type of drugs because his face looks real cracked out. And because he couldn't control his nut, he gives out pathetic advice. His bitter is masked in advice. He's just a pathetic vermin. And like the great mother is, because you spent what, 2 months dragging black women, probably your whole life dragging black women, and because you didn't want to marry that black woman because she said she wanted a prenup and you didn't want to sign the prenup, you left her at the altar. But now look at the great mother. She didn't touch you, but she touched someone that you knew, someone that you had a personal relationship with. And if you look at the George Floyd dude and the stuff on uh whatever the fuck his name is, they look alike in the face too. They have that slow look in the face. But the great mother is, I'm gonna touch you. I'm a comfort because my daughters are calling my name. My daughters are waking up. My daughters are seeing that this is not a fair deal. So when they call upon me, when they ask for my advice, when they ask for my divinity, I come in mysterious ways. And the mysterious way that the Divine Mother is coming in is exposing you nakers for what the fuck you really are. How many nakers got exposed this year? We got the Snoop, we got the B. Smith's husband, the Gatsby guy. We got this naker. We get every naker who's getting gunned down or whatever happens between them and white men. You see that they don't have that love and loyalty for black women. This guy Floyd, he has a white woman. She's not protesting. She's not marching. She's not busting a grape. So did the Aubrey Ahmad dude. He had a white girlfriend. Have we seen her? Have we got a statement for her? Did she strap on her mammy mule boots? So she's perfectly fine resting in her femininity and having y'all duke it out. Meanwhile, she has nothing to say. She's not showing her face. She's not attaching her face to anything. She doesn't want to be on no BIE list. And she knows you Nakers can't do shit for her. So even if she did vouch for anything, what could you do for her? Well, what security could you provide for her? The NOA security? The NOI security? That same NOI who gunned down Malcolm X, who planned his assassin? She knows you can't do nothing for her, so she played her role. Don't fight fire with fire, because at the end of the day, her loyalty is to what? White ZD. So she's not going to do anything to go against white ZD. Period. Just like the Aubrey Ahmad guy. Where's this white woman to say something about it? He's been dead for like what, 3 months, and she has nothing to say. She's not heartbroken. She has no tears to shed. It's interesting how these preferred non-black women are these Nakers' muses, but once they're in a bind or in a casket, they have nothing to say. They don't show up. Matter of fact, Stephon Clark, the man who infamously said, "Black bitches bring black or dark bitches bring dark days," his Asian Jeannie Mai baby mama, because they do the same thing they do with black women, those skeet and skedaddle as well. When his funeral went on, she had nothing to say. She had nothing to say. So much so that she didn't even show up for his own funeral. She was so divested. She was so above it all. She was so transformed. She wasn't even connected to it. She was aloof to what's going on. But when that check was cashed to Stephon Clark's mama, grandmama, whoever the fuck raised him, because it was a black woman, even though he spits on the image of black women, that baby mama sure did come out of hiding trying to get her piece of the pie. And the grandmama said, "Fuck you, bitch." Rightfully so. But when the whole shebang was going on, the protests, the crying, the Black Lives Matter, I'm so surprised that shit's alive. Because that movement and that quote never comes out when a Naker's not dead. But when a Naker's dead from his own doing, then comes out the Black Lives Matter hashtag. But other than that, no one uses it. Because it's marketing. It's a marketing ploy. And it's only used when it concerns a Naker. But when it concerns a black woman like Breonna Taylor, and we will get into that, no one uses that hashtag. No one even mentions her murder. She just goes underneath the rug and people just continue life as usual. But when it's a Naker, let the whole world stop. Because the whole world revolves around the fucking Naker. The difference between an Umar and Malcolm child, however, to some degree, I don't get the older generation because they help with this submission phallic worship, whether it was an actual man versus a god. I think it has to do with religion, and I also think it has to do with because so many black women know what it's like to be a baby mama, know what it's like to be used and abused and discarded, that whenever there's a phallus, even if it's their sons, they want it so bad, they want it to be around so bad, they want it to replace the phallus that left her, that she is willing to look away, turn a blind eye, lie, omit in his favor because she is so desperate for validation. She is so desperate for male validation. There's countless of stories of black women online talking about how they were abused. They told their mother, they told their woman caregiver, and they said either you were too fast, you deserved it, what did you do, don't say anything, or they kicked the child out of the house. There's always this I need to protect the phallus, even if the phallus does you greasy. And it's something specifically said and done with black women. They have this weird obsession with the black phallus. And it's because of that, black women are not taken seriously. It's disgusting. It's a mental illness because no one else does that. But I think it's because of the history black women have in this country and society, especially their direct relation with black men. And then on top of that, the fact that they're always being pumped and dumped, they have to preserve the phallus because they think if they submit, they let the phallus walk all over them, they let the phallus use and abuse them, they let the phallus take advantage of them, then they can get their son to act right. They can get their son to do better. They can get their son to stay with them the way that the son's father never did. It's a weird psychosis. It's just mental illness, honestly. It's disgusting. Um, Lemon Collie, if you're in the live, let me know because I don't see your I don't see you. I don't see you. If you're still there, girl. I just got your text, girl. Hold on. I don't know, like I said, like YouTube just be tripping because sometimes I see comments and sometimes I don't. But if you're still in there, um, try sending another comment through the live. Because white women are crafty. She knows what role to play to benefit herself. She is. She is. We're gonna talk about the video, the viral video of that white woman in the park with her dog. She was aggressive towards the neighbor, but as soon as the neighbor pulled off the camera and videotaped her, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. This is African American. He's threatening me. Come hither. Oh, he has a gun. No, don't shoot. They know how to play the role. Master crafters. Like they are psychopathic. They are histrionic ass bitches. You cannot trust them hoes. They know how to play their role. Thank God for fucking cameras. Thank God for fucking cameras. Cause if not, them bitches would have had countless of dead bodies. And I'm talking about black women included because of their lies. And they have no problem lying. They have no problem lying through their teeth. But the thing about it is they're so spoiled in white patriarchy that they can do this shit and nothing happens to them. There's no kind of consequences. And this is why black women and white men are the best paired group. Not only do we have the longest marriages, but also we know it's like to be with a counterpart that takes advantage of us, that blames everything on us, that don't appreciate us. So that's why when we get together, we're the best for each other because we know how ugly our counterparts can be. 1 minute she's a feminist, next she's a housewife. I don't hate her. Instead, I'm learning more about her position, to be honest. And I think when black women in particular need to be just as crafty. I'm not saying that histrionic shit because Lord knows I don't like being around histrionic ass bitches. But you need to be able to checkmate. You need to be able to know when you can use that tiger mom energy and that when you can use that femininity. I'm poised. That's not me. Demure traits. You need to be able to turn that shit off and on. You need to be able to be a chameleon in any situation because sometimes situations require you to be a boss bitch. In other situations, it requires you to pay the Robin to his Batman. And if you don't know how to code switch, you don't know how to maneuver in different situations, not only will you not be flexible to ride the wave, but also you're going to get your ass got. Let me continue. So now we're gonna go into Breonna Taylor. So breaking news. Breonna Taylor, the EMT who was helping and saving lives during COVID-19, that was gunned down in her apartment. Come to find out that the Naker boyfriend who was shooting at the cops like it's motherfucking Call of Duty, like it's Grand Theft Auto in this bitch. Come to find out, said boyfriend lied, then said that she was sleeping. But in actuality, he was the one shooting at the police. And now the truth comes out that not only was it a lie that she was sleeping, not only was it a lie that she shot the police, because that's what he told the police initially before all of this came out. Now the truth has come that it was the boyfriend who shot at the police and that she was used as a shield. Brianna was used as a shield for the Naker. And that she was bleeding out and dying on that cold, hard floor. Her boyfriend was lying on her name and saying she was the shooter. When in actuality, with through the police investigation, they found out that he was the one shooting. About it, people look at him like, oh, he's weak and she's not that bad, and that he just can't handle it, and he needs to do better as a man. It emasculizes him because he's getting his ass beat by a woman. But also, when he seeks help, no one actually believes him because she knows how to code switch. White women are known for that shit. That's why whenever they do fuck shit, they're hardly called on it. They're hardly held accountable for it. And white men know. That's why white men are leaving them and divorcing them at high rates. Is because they're unappreciative and they're treated like little girls. They're treated like they're always the victim. They're treated as if they could never do no wrong. When in actuality, they're the ones committing the worst wrongs and then acting as if they didn't do anything. They're perpetual children. They have no accountability. They have no respect. They have no honor. No different than black men. And no wonder they get along so well. Because the same childish arrested development, lack of accountability, lack of responsibility bullshit, they both have it in them. So that's why they are both the best counterpart for each other. Whereas black women and white men, we're the most counterparts for each other because we're the most responsible, we're the most respectful, we're about our shit, we take accountability, and we progress. We understand how our counterparts, white men and white women, black women and black men, how we are mistreated by our counterparts, and we respect each other on that level, and we understand what it's like to be thrown in the mud, so we don't do that to each other when we do partner up. Um, the Naker recorded the white woman to prove that she was lying and a psychopathic, histrionic piece of shit. The internet wanted to get this Karen fired, and at the least, and jail time at the most, for making false police report and possibly committing a hate crime. But guess who advocated against the firing of this Karen, and definitely not the hate crime on this Karen? It was the Naker. It was a nigger who wanted nothing, no type of accountability for white girl Becky, because he is a nigger. He doesn't like accountability, and white women are his prize, his natural counterpart. So if he doesn't want to get in trouble, of course he doesn't want her to get in trouble. But trust and believe me, if it was a black woman, oh, he would want her to do community service. He would want her to register as a felon. He would want her to go through the mud, go through the justice system. But because it was a Karen, he felt for her. He understood her. He didn't want anything bad to happen to her. Which makes me think, why record her in the first place if he wasn't going to do anything about it? Which leads me to believe that white men knew the psychopathy and the psychology of black men before black women knew. Because black men always stay on cold when it comes to white women. The Naker wanted a viral moment. But ultimately, he wanted to humiliate and coerce her into being with him. Because the same shit that they did to Doja Cat, and they're still doing it to her now. They're publicly shaming her, but I bet you, she reveals her DMs. The same niggas who are dragging her, the same niggas in her DM talking about, oh, I forgive you, ma. People are dumb. They don't understand you. I understand that you quirky or whatever. Let me know your number when you're available. Let me take you out to McDonald's. It's the same fucking niggers. I think black I think white men knew the game with black men, and that's why they created a birth of a nation. That they knew that deep down in time, deep down inside, that niggers want white women by any means necessary. Because a black man always stays on cold with white women. She can call him all types of niggers and cause him to lose his life, lying on his name, and ruin his reputation, make sure that money comes out of his pockets. But it's okay with him Unless she is calling him a nigger, not even a nigger, a full blown nigger, hard ER in bed. He's okay with all the disrespect she imposes on him, all the denigration, all the humiliation, all the bullshit, all the racism, the white supremacy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He's okay with it. If she stays on code and beds him. She's even okay with him. He's even okay with her calling him a nigger in bed, but she must be calling him that in bed, because if she refuses him, he'll play the victim, as you can see with the video recording of that viral moment. He wants to coerce her into bed with him, just like he does black women and girls. Hence why black women have a 60% plus sexual assault rate by the age of 18. And I think this is what white men ultimately knew about black men. And the birth of a nation was right. Niggers are rapey, and they like the denigration, they like the humiliation, they love that subpar treatment, they love that uh, ravaging rape fantasy of them raping white women, or white women liking that naked dick, that barbaric animalistic dick, the BBC as they say, because they're okay with white women treating them as such if only the white woman beds him, chooses him, desires him. They'll do anything to get into her panties, even if it means self denigration. But meanwhile, they will slander a black woman, slander a black woman's image, call her vagina all types of roast beats and African frog. But they're okay with white women literally call them all types of niggers, and then all types of niggers hard ER. And we saw that with Childish Gambino's um, stand up comedy, where he talked about the best sex that he had was with an Armenian woman calling him a nigger, and he bust so good after being disrespected, because that's what black men are into. They're into that cuckold thing. They're into humiliation, and because they're into it, they think that they can do it to black women, and black women will be into it as well, which is not the case. So I wouldn't be surprised if that Nate girl who wanted that viral moment doesn't turn around and try to coerce the Karen and say, you know what, I saved you from a prison record, I saved you from losing your job. um, we should go out for drinks. We should be friends. You know, let's follow each other on Facebook, follow each other on Instagram, just like they do to black women, and as you're saying currently with Doja Cat. And finally, I know this live stream's a little bit longer. We had difficulties. I'll probably be updating this live on YouTube after I'm done with it. Um, if mammies don't see it, mammies are never gonna see it. Mammies want to be blinded bullshit like Ray Charles, then mammies could do that. It's not illegal for mammies to do mammy shit. But I want mammies to be clear, clear as day what they're signing up for. Because I think it's a foul to trick somebody and to get someone got when you know you on some fuck shit. So I want to make sure mammies know for a Fendi fact what the fuck they're getting into. Mammies, your day is here. Now you're always talking about how the black man's gonna do this and the black man's gonna do that and this, that, and the third. You are seeing who they choose. You are seeing what they think about you, how they treat you, and the lack of patriarchy that they are comfortable with, because they have a pimparchy. They pimp you out. You do the hard work while they sit back, scratch their ass, fuck the whole block, and spend your money. And you're okay with that. But you know what? Y'all bitches are going to learn. Even if it's the death of you, you bitches are gonna learn self preservation, even if it fucking kills you. Because you refuse to learn. You refuse to divest. You refuse to put yourself first. Even when these nakers are ecstatic about harming you, lying about you, telling other races of men egregious, monstrous, stupid shit about you. You're okay with that. They can tell other races of women that your vaginas stink. They can tell other races of women, women and men that you're incapable, that you're the monster, that you are the worst stewardess of children. They can do whatever they want to your image, but let their asses get caught up in some fuck shit that they initiated. They know for a affinity fact that you're going to show up. You're not good enough to marry. You're not good enough to honor. You're not good enough to make a commitment to, but you're good enough to be skeet in. You're good enough to break. You're good enough to dismiss. You're good enough to write off. And you're okay with that. You're okay with that. And you desire that. And this is why black women will never go as far as we should. Because you baby bitches will always make excuses for this mistreatment because you love this shit. This shit is foreplay to you. This shit is sexy to you. This is what gets you wet. You like hearing songs about the man's cheating on you, the man's beating your ass, the man is treating you poorly, the man is being split between you and some other chick. You love that shit. You love being perpetual baby mamas. You love having to be the man in your relationships. You love doing the 50-50 shit. It makes you wet. It validates your male validation, your need for male validation, even though that's toxic as fuck. Even if you was a decent man, it's still toxic as fuck for to be chasing male validation, because that's how you end up getting got ultimately. But you love doing it for niggas who don't even deserve it. You love doing it for niggas who ain't putting their work in. And if that's what you love, then maybe I can only allow you to do what you already want to do, which is sacrificing. So if you're gonna sacrifice, who am I to tell you not to? Who am I to tell you to do better because you don't want better? You're okay with the low position that you're in. You're okay with being a harem baby mama. Because if you weren't, you would have been got and got the fuck out. You would have been packed up your shit, left Blackistan and never looked back. But you want to make Blackistan look pristine. You want to actually give Blackistan a makeover. You want to hide the dirt of Blackistan because your ego is in it. And your ego is always going to be their downfall because, like the old saying goes, pride comes before the fall. And Blackistan is burning, sis. Do you see the ashes? Do you smell the burned rubber? At Blackistan is literally burning as we speak. In a spiritual sense, in a physical sense. Look all the rioting that's going on in the Twin Cities because of this George Floyd shit. Blackistan is fucking burning. But you still want to make it look decent, even though it was never decent. It was always a shithole. And because you refuse to learn the learning lessons, sis, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And that's all I got. So, whoo, that was a long live stream. We are almost done for this week live stream countdown. I'll be back on Friday. I think Friday is just going to be a lot more mellow, just shooting the shits, nothing too serious. Because next week, starting Monday, well, not starting Monday, but next week, that June month, the first week in June, we're going to start our two segments. We're going to start the spiritual hour. Hour spelled OU, and no, hour spelled EYE dash OUR. So hour spelled a little differently, a little quirky. And it's a segment on Wednesday, so it's going to start June 3rd at 6. And we're going to answer some questions. Y'all can email me questions at BlackWomanVibes BlackWomanVibes@gmail.com. And you can send your questions, your dilemmas, your whatever. And we're going to use the tarot. We're going to use spirituality, the spirit guides. We might even use some oracle cards to give a little bit more depth into whatever you're asking about. And we're going to get some answers. We're going to get some answers from the shadow side. We're going to get some answers from the spirits to answer whatever the hell you want to know about. And I want to be able to answer 10 questions within this hour segment. So we are going to be brief. but we're going to get to the meat of things versus tiptoeing around things, beating around the bush. We're gonna get straight to the point, straight shooter, straight no chase, and yeah. So definitely send in your questions. This is a Black woman space, a pro divested Black woman space, might I add, because we're not doing none of that nigger shit. Like, leave that shit with your mama. We're not bringing this shit into this space. Then on Friday, on the 5th, we're going to do Why Did You Divest Sis? I have a whole little cute intro. I did an intro for both, but my intro for Why Did You Divest Sis segment, I'm so super excited to reveal that. But yeah, I have that. And we're going to have an hour to ourselves starting at 6. And we're just going to talk. We're just going to keep key. Y'all going to be able to call up and let me know, why did you divest, sis? And it's not interrogation. It's not manipulation. I'm not going to try to bring you back to Blackistan. I done left. I ain't going back. So I don't want you to go back. And I want you to tell me, why'd you divest? Like, could have been like, I went to a college. I met, this cute white guy. We started talking. We started dating, and next thing you know, I'm married and I got 2 of his motherfucking kids. It could be something as simple as that, but I want it from your point of view, from your mouth, from your experience, so no one can put words in your mouth, no one can manipulate your story, no one can tell your story for you. And I want to have an array of Black women being able to call, from the little girls in high school to grown ass grannies calling in and saying, hey, I divested because of this and the third. You can keep your name anonymous. I prefer you to keep your name anonymous, child. There's a lot of crazies out in these streets, and a lot of these crazies out in these internet streets. So keep your name anonymous. But I would like you to tell me your real age and your real either state, city, region, country, whatever you feel more comfortable about. But I would like you to tell me your real location, so I would know. So we would know. The viewers, the listeners will know. Like, oh, they really with it on the West Coast. Like, they really divesting. They're really squirming over there. Or you could be like, oh, you from Europe? You from France? Oh, okay. Like, that's what's really going on over there. Okay, it's kind of like you broadcasting. It's kind of like when you reporting. You report live from the streets of divestment. Like, you letting us know what's going on in different regions, and I think that's dope as fuck. So yeah, those are the 2 segments coming up next week. And Friday is just gonna be real low key, real low mellow, and we're just gonna shoot the shits and have a good time before the weekend. So to my Black divested women, y'all, this is not our fight. Sit pretty, get your nails done, your hair done, chillax. These are not your problems. You already burnt the cake. Okay, you divested from Blackistan. So all we doing is reporting on what we see and what's going on. But none of this shit affects us, because this ain't us. This is not our fight. This is not our fight, and we perfectly clear with that. So, isn't it time for Black women to live and live well? Be the best version of yourself by mastering yourself. And a part of mastering yourself is reporting on the fuck shit but not getting involved. Like, we trying to let each other know what it is and what it ain't. But we're not trying to get up in the fight. We're not trying to get up in the mud. We not hogs in the mud. We're not pigs in the mud. We don't talk about it. We gonna see what it is. We gonna put our 2 cents in, but we're not gonna get our asses involved because we divested. And this does not apply to us. This is not our reality. These are not our problems, and nor do we want it to be. Um, be blessed, be enlightened, be loved. I am out. Peace. Oh, and be the best version of yourself by mastering yourself.